Hi, Muchismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, share, give a thumbs up for this video if you found it helpful, and pass it on if you believe it will be helpful to someone else. I'd appreciate that. I'm going to talk to you guys about some things that happened in the past that I didn't talk about in their totality. I mentioned I broke my foot in August, maybe 3 or 4 days before my 54th birthday. And this is a full disclosure. This is aimed at the narcissist and anyone who has behavior similar to the narcissist. This is in hopes that if you hear this, you will get some straightening about yourself. You will get close to God. You will understand that you're playing with something that you have no idea that you're playing with. Because when you're playing with chosen ones, you're not taunting, you're not destroying, you're not attempting to destroy chosen ones. You're actually destroying yourself. But more importantly, you're out to try to get a reaction out of God. And in fact, you do. You get the reaction that you didn't anticipate. You get the reaction that you had no clue. You had no idea of what kind of rectification that was to be had. See, chosen ones are not just chosen because we say we are chosen. We're chosen of God. We recognize that we are chosen by God. But the difference in the chosen ones and narcissists, dark energy, demonic entities, wherever they be, they don't wholeheartedly know who they work for. They have no idea who signs their checks, what checks they're working for free. So, some time ago when I broke my foot in August, I was not willing to talk about what I'm going to talk to you about now. And this is for empaths as well at this point. Now that I've gave that full disclosure aimed at narcissists being aware of what we are and what they're dealing with. And I know they really don't care, but we can hope, right? In August, I broke my foot. I was on a job whereas I was working for this individual. I won't name any names. I won't give no specifics. I'll just give you generalizations. He owns several stores and different other just businesses around the area, seemingly legal and whatnot. But what I discovered, and I was informed in through just many ways, specifically one individual, but other ways were just me putting things together. They shortchanged me essentially for a job that I had recruited or enlisted someone else to do, because why? Even before I broke my foot, that was way above what I was able to do, being that I would have had to enlist equipment, rent equipment, this and that. So I subcontracted a part of that job out, and it was the wisest thing to do. And he's a good friend of mine, the guy that I subcontracted the work out. And when the guy completed the job, this individual who owns these stores, who I've worked for and made many dollars for, and I'm thankful for that. This individual, once the work was rendered, I reached out to them through text and they responded in some ways that were a little less optimistic than I expected. They were throwing excuses and talking about one job not being up to their expectations, so therefore they was withholding the payment for another job. And so this is in the wake of me breaking my foot. And I broke my foot on one of the many job sites that this individual had me on for him, mainly some of his residents. This individual owns these businesses, also owns a few properties. So I broke my foot while operating an excavator on one of his properties. It wasn't his fault. It was operator error that was on my fault. The mini excavator tipped. I jumped out and Unfortunately, a part of it landed on my foot, broke 3 toes, and to now which I have a plate in one of my foot. And so I texted him back and said, you do this. Why are you doing this? Why are you playing games with the money? This and that and the other. And every text I would give them was a response from them would be like, pretty much, until you do this, that, and the other, I'm not giving you this for that. Then they were saying all kind of other slick stuff. And it was just very much unlike them, because we'd had just such a great business experience leading up to that point. And I just couldn't make sense out of this. And I was asking them, why are you acting like this? You seem like you got some, you got some spirits on you. You got a dark energy from somewhere. I don't understand this. I'm actually trying to clarify to him what I'm seeing in him. I'm not demeaning him. I'm not being vulgar, derogatory, or anything. I'm actually shooting right down the middle. And what they didn't understand was, obviously, an empath, chosen one, and awakened. I knew, and I now know still, that this person is he's of a spirit that is really less than it should be. Put it that way. And so you work for some people like this. Sometimes that they are not the best of people. You may not always recognize that they are narcissists. You may not recognize that they are disordered, but you do know there is something that is unwell with them, and to which most of the world struggles from that as in some way or another. But fortunate for some of us, we're able to get some get right about ourselves. We're able to come to a conclusion and introspect and turn that thing around. Very few of us, but the chosen ones for certain. Most of us, if we're not rebellious to God's call on our heart, we really do seem to see the error of our ways. But back to point, it went back and forth. He didn't seem like he was ready to relinquish this money that I owed to this subcontractor. So not only is he owing me, but indirectly he's owing someone else. So this is putting me in a bad light. And so, which I know happens a lot of times with people in business. But, for it to be happening in this way, it didn't make any sense. In some of these situations you can get around, say if I hadn't broke my foot, it probably wouldn't have mattered as much as it did at that point, at least. But by me being pretty much at my worst, and this is what this person was doing. And so I reached out to his siblings, which I have a good communication with them as well, because they're a family. And so I work for them all over the years. And I've been grateful to have them, solicit me for work. So the thing is, he just never wanted to relinquish the money. Then all of a sudden I started hearing developments of certain things that were happening. And to cap this story off, not to belabor it or get any more into the extensive details of things, the individual who owed me, it came to light that there was an attempted murder on his life. And so that's how serious of a situation he had going on, which suggests now why he was acting funny with me. And there were other developments that are alleging that he was into illegal activities, and you fill in the blank as to what they were. And so he essentially is no longer in the area because of the attempt on his life. But the good thing is, and I don't know if I mentioned it in a video before, he did relinquish through avenues of his family the money that was owed to me, or not to me, indirectly to me, but to the individual that I subcontracted the work to be done. And so, which kept me in good standing with that individual who did that work. But I'm trying to show you something, guys, whereas we here on this platform, a lot of you guys got stories You got the same similar stories of these individuals out here that are doing chosen ones wrong in very malicious, extreme, outrageous ways. And it doesn't make logical sense. But what's happening is God is opening a huge can of whoop-ass on demonic and dark energies. God is just sick and tired. You just can't do any damn thing you please to people who mean you no harm. And see, people don't understand when you're dealing with chosen ones. Chosen ones may be oblivious to you actually causing them harm. But guess what happens behind the scene? God sees all. And sometimes God will intercept and he will come in and he will deal with that dark energy for that empath, for that chosen ones. And you'll look around, the empath chosen ones will look around and they'll hear an updated development on that person that slighted you or did you wrong. And we're looking like, wow, we're actually feeling bad for you that someone has made an attempt on your life. Even at that point, we are still empathetic to the fact that someone would go the distance to not want to see you in this earth again. But on the contrary, for dark energy, they want to see you gone. But we just have to understand as chosen ones, doesn't mean we're gullible. It doesn't mean we're stupid because we still care for that person's well-being. That is just who we are. That's innate to who we are. That's what makes us chosen. And that's what makes the narcissist so aggravated and angry, that you can care about people in a real way and they can't. You can care about somebody no matter what the offense is when they hold grudges. And so that was one of the new developments of what had happened, the reason why he was shortchanging me with the money. But this happened some months ago and I just felt like I wanted to talk about it. And it's not all over yet, but I wanted to just talk to you guys about this a little bit, just to let you know that, you know, wherever you are in your life in these situations that have happened to you, you're not by yourself. A lot of us content creators and some of the subscribers, you don't talk in detail about what you're going through right now. Some of you do. Some of you talk in stark context about what you're going through. But some of us, we would just rather not share that with anyone. And that's your right. You know, God sees everything. But I'm just here to let you know and comfort you in that, knowing that it doesn't make it doesn't make it better because you are in fact going through these things too. But it does help alleviate a lot of the, I want to say, the burden of thinking that, you know, this is some isolated incident with just you, because these dark energies, they travel in packs. They do the things they do religiously with no conscience. They will continue to do it. They've always done it, even before you. And it's not personal. It's not personal. They pick the strongest person to do the most atrocious things too. But they recruit the weakest people to do their bidding because they can't take you down by themselves. They know you're strong when they meet you. That's why they recruit you and enlist you and hire you out to help them do stuff for them. And as soon as you build that thing up for them, they spit you out like a piece of gum. And there was another development here, whereas when I broke my foot, I solicited, or I didn't solicit, I reached out and tried to get some public assistance in a few ways. And it was denied, not one time, two times, but inevitably a third time. And I did a lot of the footwork, no pun intended, while I was immediately after surgery. It was my responsibility to go down and file certain papers when I shouldn't have even been on my feet on crutches. But I determined myself to do it because I had no one else to do it for me. And A lot of them I could have done phone conference, but didn't want to leave that to chance. I really wanted to just be there in person in case there was something that they didn't get that they needed, and I could talk face to face to somebody. And that kind of, to me, makes a difference. I think when someone sees you and you show up, it shows that, to me, that you really truly are in need. And so the person who was the worker, out of the gate, I sensed the energy, and not even sensing, they began to display that they had a specific agenda to make sure and ensure that I did not get the help that I needed. And they worked methodically to do such. It was instances when I'd be in the back room talking to this individual, I would answer a question, and you know how these dark demons try to gaslight you, but they knew that I was awakened. That's why I talk in videos about, they know you. They know you know who they are. And so they begin to try to create a frictional confrontation or conversation. And because you're stoic and you can look at them and calmly talk to them, and not even calmly, they see that you're not falling for their little gesture of, I'm important and you have to look up to me. I'm looking down at you. I'm not looking straight at you like you're my equal. And so when you kind of are like not impressed, you show that facial expression like you're poised. That bothers them, because you don't come in looking like a wounded dog, because you come in with integrity, and they want you to come in like you're some drug addict in need of a hit. They need you. You're the drug. They're the addict. Remember that, empaths. And so when they began to go on and go on and go on, and I said, well, you know what? I really need assistance because I just broke my foot. It was obvious that this was what it was. They had x-rays. I submitted everything to them. They could see it was a very severe break in my foot, to which I'm still healing from now 7 months later. So long story short, they most recently denied it that third time. So I have been pretty much essentially out of work for 7 months with little to no finances. But I'm just telling you guys this to let you know, evil does try to stagnate you and cripple you. And that's no pun intended. They try to cripple you in many ways, to the point where you no longer have a desire to look forward. But they always count you out. But they're not counting on the fact that God is with you. God is with you. And these things I just pointed out, this individual worker here, as happenstance has it, from the very beginning of me going down to get assistance to me sitting here right now in the presence, from that point to this one, 7 months has transpired. But from the very time I went down to try to get assistance, somewhere in between there, the worker lost their significant other. They passed away. So don't know the specifics of that. And I'm not here saying that we empaths and chosen one wish anything on anyone, because that's not what's being spoken here. But what I am saying, those of you who believe in karma, this is much greater than karma. This is the justice deserved. This is not justice delayed. This is justice rightly deserved for dark demons and dark entities. Not so much them losing loved one. This is not so much attempts on their lives. This is not so much as them going through these things that we all go through. We lose loved ones. We have people that come at us in different ways, whether isolated or deliberately. Everyone experiences life and death. But I'm trying to tell you specifically, when you go out of your way and deliberately, methodically, premeditatively to do someone else harm, specifically the chosen ones, You're asked out. You're going to be asked out. I hope I made it clear, guys, because you who are impulse and chosen ones. That is something you have to understand, that God is with you. Some of the things that you're now experiencing right now in this moment, you're not going to be able to control the outcome of what happens to that darkness. God has that all in his hand. All you are responsible for is staying vigilant, aware, and educated, and vibrated high. That way you don't self-sabotage. That way you don't leave yourself out there as a guinea pig to be slaughtered. And that way your intuition stays on point and you're able to avoid and resist the devil. Resist the devil. Because they'll come in like a light, like you and I are. But the difference is you can read, they can't. You can read, undeniably read. You can read things that are not on the surface. You can read things that are under the surface. Much like they can observe that you are who you are, you more than observe. The spirit living in you helps you telepathically see some things that they think are hidden, that they don't think you see. So, that being said, say less, bless.